Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to Inspire Greatness, the space where growth takes center stage. I am your host, Demi, and I am beyond thrilled to have you join me on this journey. Whether you're a returning listener or it's your first time here, I want you to know that this is more than just a show or a membership. It's a community, a sanctuary for growth, and a place where we dive deep into the essence of what makes us truly human. Let us dive into how to plan the next 90 days. And how does people plan who actually reach their goals? What are they doing differently than what you probably do? And how can you go from having some goals but not really knowing how to achieve them into clear action planning and then also reaching it? Because I am sure you have goals. And if you don't know what's your next goal you want to achieve, as if in something that you're aiming for right now, then this is your sign to take a moment for yourself. Just sit in stillness and think about where are you heading to. Because if you don't know where you're heading to, any direction, it's like sitting on a bus which is going to the mountains. But then when you reach the mountains, you realize you actually didn't want the mountains. You were looking for the sea. And I sometimes feel like that a lot of us are sitting on a bus, which is called life, not really knowing where they're heading to. And then when they reach their destination, whatever it is, because any movement creates direction, they're realizing they're not where they wanted to be. And from my own experience, I can tell you that the worst thing that could happen, and I hope this is not going to happen for you, is going somewhere because you thought this is what you want, not really thinking if this is really what you want, as if in really deep down in your heart, then reaching the point, the success, the destination, then to realize it doesn't give you any sense of fulfillment, excitement, or happiness. And I want you to prevent this outcome with planning your next steps in a sense of awareness of where you're going, actually knowing what it takes, and then having a clear action plan. Because again, action creates outcome. But without knowing which action to take, there's no real outcome. So let us dive into, and I set this up into like two different sections. So one is section 1, that's phase number 1. That is the actual goal setting. And then we're going into phase 2, which is the mental and spiritual work, which is not the woo-woo. It's not about, you don't have to do anything, just think of it and it all will come your way. No. But it's about setting your mind into this outcome, setting your mind ready to achieve it. And because your mind is one of your biggest employees, players, friends on the way of reaching these outcomes. So without further ado, let's dive into phase number 1. Phase number 1 is goal setting, and it's all about how you set your goals to actually reach a certain outcome. but you need to know where you're going. And that's what we're creating in this phase. So I'm going to actually use some visuals to make it clear for you, and you will always find visuals to download below this video or in the downloading section. Stop this video quickly, download the paper if you can, if you're not driving, if you're not walking around, if you're listening and you're actually having a moment for yourself, sit down, print that out, or at least have it ready to look at it whilst we are going through it. Now, number one is set improvement categories and goals. Because I could tell you now, set goals, right? And you would probably come up with a few goals you want to achieve. Maybe you want to lose weight. Maybe you want to improve your finances. Maybe you want to travel the world. Maybe you want to move out of a place or move into a place. If you say, I want to improve my finances, this is great. But this is like the title. Now, what do you want to improve? Is it like specifically? Is it that you want to start investing and let your money work? Or is it that you want to get ahead with budgeting because you're spending and earning is not in alignment? Or is it that you want to understand how to generate more income streams? What is it exactly that you want to improve? And if it's several things, then put them down, okay? So that is also why we have created these improvement categories, which do actually make sense if you look at them. So now pick up the sheet where it says categories of improvement. And all of these categories, those are things that we can work on. And I would also acknowledge before you dive into what you can improve is take a moment, go into these categories and look back. Look back at how far you've come. Look back at what have you already improved. Because I want you to know that you're doing great. You maybe don't know yet. You're maybe not aware of it, but you're doing a lot of things very, very well. And it's always easier to think of what's not going well, what we can improve, instead of just being in this moment, being present and acknowledge where you have come, how far you have come. Okay, so going to the category of personal and relationships. Now, this one, I believe, is like any other categories. We are never fully educated. We're never perfect. We're imperfect, perfect human beings. Become the best version of yourself, or we know what we want to improve. But what I want you to do is take a piece of paper, if you have time to write. Take a piece of paper, write down the categories, and then write down first, what have I done? And then list all of the things that you've done very well. And for example, let me give you an example of and this is a personal one. I got better in communicating in relationships, especially with loved ones, because I wasn't good at it. I wasn't really the one who was able to communicate effectively. So I was holding back a lot of things. But when it comes to love and your loving relationship, I understand that I don't want to hold back. I actually want to be able to express, but expressing in a way that the other person can understand. Now, this is something I have improved. It's still not perfect, and that's what I mean. I personally would still say I'm working on communication, but it got better when I look back. So this is something I would write down. And then when you think of, okay, what do I want to improve? Is it still the communication, or is it something else that I want to focus? Here I want to also step back quickly. If you feel like I want to improve on this and this and this and 1,000 things come to your mind, sit down in stillness again and just choose one thing. A lot of times we want to improve 1,000 things at once. It's the same with growing your business. And as an entrepreneur, I can tell you, we have a lot of ideas every single day. My brain is like a machine that produces ideas every single day. But I need to finish one first. And this is the biggest challenge for someone that's very creative. So I choose one thing and then I put my head down until it's done and then I choose another thing. So that's something I'm just going to give you all of the experiences and all of the wisdom that I have from what I've experienced so that you don't have to do the same things. Okay? So hear me out when I say get one thing, do this right for 90 days. And trust me, 90 days is 3 months of the year. You still have time for other things to improve. But get this one thing right, and you will be able to at least cross off 4 things in every of these category by the end of the year, because you focused solely on one thing per category and not on 10 things you want to improve. So then also give yourself a read. Once you have realized what you have done very well, what you have improved, now is the time to understand what you want to improve. And when I say choose one of the 1,000 things that come to your mind, how can you do this? By giving yourself a reason. Why do you want to focus on this one thing? What does it give? Start with why. I don't know if you know this book from Simon Sinek, but if you do know, then he actually tells you to start with why. And there's a huge reason why we should start. Because when you know there's a different connection to the outcome you want to achieve. And you will find solutions because you can go back into your why. It's personal, it's clear. And from there you operate, not from what it will give you. It's from why you want it. And the why must come from within. I can't give you the why. I can't tell you why should you do this or why should you focus on that. It's only you. So I gave you an example on the personal relationship one. And there it says, continue to date, support, and cherish Chris as if it's our first year together. I would just assume like Chris is my boyfriend. Now I would say continue to date and support and cherish him as if it's the first year of the relationship. Because if you have been in a longer relationship, you know that sometimes things can get very normal. Not boring, but it's just normal that you do this. But if you actively date and support and you sit your tone and focus into this, your action and your words that you're going to tell your boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, wife, husband is going to be different because you set the tone of I want to be present and actively support and cherish this person. But then also ask yourself why. And this could look like this relationship stands as my healthiest, nurturing. This divine gift is my expression of gratitude. This is my why. Do this if you can. Pause this video and then write that down for you. And let's go into the professional and content. I mean, I'm not going to go deep into all of the categories because I think you got where it comes from, what I want to give to you. In a world of constant improvement, seeking more, seeking becoming better without being present with what we have. This is a reminder for you that do not solely focus on the next big thing in your professional life and do not solely focus on money, because it doesn't mean that it has to be money wise, because financial is going to be a category there you can put that in. But when it comes to professional, look for something that is within the area of your profession. Bring out something that you want to improve, not only the income. And if you're employed, you have a certain and a set income. There's not a lot that you can do in this very moment to gain more. If you want to improve that, then it could be a side business that you do for yourself because you want to do it, not because I tell you, not because social media tells you to do it, but because you want another income stream, which I tell you is very important to create. But I would not tell you you have this route only, but this could also be something. Now, I'm giving you an example for myself, because achieving new followers is like a very clear, specific goal, and it serves me in my professional life. So, for example, I could write down achieve 150k followers, posting every 182 days. Why? Because social media serves as my accountability tool, proving commitment and sustaining creativity for consistent growth. Here you go. Now, professional and relationship is something else. Here, I give you the example of collaborate with other creators, host at least 2 giveaways, and initiate quarterly growth challenges. The reason behind success involves lifting others. By reaching back, I contribute to a broader achievement. These are 2 examples in the professional life. One has to do with content, one has to do with relationships. Now, pause this video again. First, look back of what you did very well, and then look to the front of what you want to achieve. And it can't be too big, but don't think too far. Now let's go to the financial area. I assume you already have 3 personal categories with things you looked back you did well and goals you want to improve on with a reason behind. Now the financial one is very easy, but here I'm just going to say again, don't go too small, but don't go. As an example, generate an additional 40k for a down payment, aspiring to provide our future children with a home and in a desirable neighborhood. I'm just saying what I'm not saying how to get it. I'm not thinking about the how. I'm thinking of the goal, and I know exactly why. Because I want to provide future. But the reason is even bigger. The reason is I'm aiming for a secure home. This surplus holds the key to a house with a backyard. That's why I need a down payment. Because otherwise, maybe a smaller apartment would be satisfying. But I know exactly what I want. So it's a 40k down payment that needs to be here. Now, this is totally fine if it scares the hell out of you if you write this number down. But just be real. What do you need in order to live a life that you want? What is your goal? And when it comes to finances, we don't do this, I would love to, but realistically, I do this. It's like, what do you want? How much do you need? Write that down. And if that number scares everything out of you that you have, very good, very good. Just write down why you need it, put that emotion into it, and then just leave it on the paper, okay? Because no one's going to come knock on your door and tells you, you wrote down 40k, you don't have it, so you are miserable in achieving results. No, it's only you versus or you and. Let's go and head on to health and mental. Pause this video to write down your financial goals and also look back, and then we go and move on. Health and mental. I love it because this is also part of why Inspire Greatness has become a huge, huge part of my life, of the business, and it will impact your life, hopefully as much as it does. So look back of what have you changed in your health and your mental health, okay? Health overall and mental health. And then look to the front. This could look like this. I'm taking 1 week break every 2 months to prioritize mental well-being and prevent burnout. Yes, real big one. And for me, this was an example, but for me, it looked, I haven't really able to fully do this, but my goal for health and mental is to take 1 day off every week, and trust me, this is not something I have been doing. Taking one day off and do not think about business. Because I could take a lot of days off, but my brain would not relax. And so the day is a waste of, it's a waste of a relaxing day because I'm not relaxing. So this could be something that you want to do. And then go back into the why. This could look like this. I'm recognizing the importance of mental health, and this routine safeguards against burnout. Again, go into yourself. If you have several things you want to do, choose one and find the why, and choose the one which is the most, just feels aligned the most. Choose that. Then pause this video if you need some time out here to rethink, and also rethink of what we're able to let go of. If it's an addiction, be proud of that, because it's not easy, and you acknowledge yourself for doing there. And then you can put on what you want to do for the next weeks. Okay? And once you did that, we can move on to the physical health. And here it's very simple. You can go very straightforward into numbers again, because numbers don't lie, and numbers will actually help you to be very specific. But if you don't want to lose weight, obviously, you don't have to write a number of losing weight or gaining weight. It can also be a little bit different. But here's an example. I strive to lose 30 kilos or whatever you have, and maintain peak health before engaging. Now, why? It could be optimal health is essential, especially as I approach a significant life milestone. Again, here, nothing is wrong, nothing is right. Whatever feels good for you, focus on that. And if you have several things you want to focus on when it comes to your body, then choose one thing. It can also be nutrition. It can also be moving or hobby-wise. You don't have to be specific with numbers. I hope you did that, because if you did that right, then you have a lot of things you can be proud of now, because you look back and you know what you've done. And you have things to look forward to because you know why you want to do that. What we also need is a very positive attitude and thinking towards your goals. And express your goals as if you have already achieved them. This is not about lying to yourself, telling yourself, I am very sporty, when you're not. And you feel like, but I'm not. It's about going specifically into your goals and telling yourself, I have the 40K for the down payment. I have it. It's here. It's here. You're just going to pick it up. It's going to come. So you know it with determined. And I had this very cool example once, so I want to share this with you. It's when you want to achieve something, you know exactly what you want, right? Let's compare that to buying some shoes online. So when you order shoes online, what do? You choose them, you go through the whole process, write in your address, pay for it, and then you wait, right? Do you ever think or worry about not getting the package? Is this a worry that you think about, or are you 100% certain it will come your way whenever it's been sent? Even if they tell you we have delays, do you start to worry about not getting it at all? I don't think so. When you order something online, you are 100% sure it will come. And that's how I want you to treat your goals you set for yourself. Because you literally just ordered them. We just need to get into action, but you ordered them. And I want you to be as safe and sure about reaching them as if you would have ordered shoes online. Just go back to this example, because again, if we know that everything is connected within the energy, And when you put certain actions out in this world, there's like something has to come back. And if it's not what you wanted, you probably just didn't set the right tone or not the right actions, because you did something so that something can, you have to do something so that something else can come your way. So be 100% sure what you ordered is gonna come. That there's no worry about it if it's gonna come or not. And trust me, you need this attitude, because some of your goals might be scary. Some of your goals might be huge and you're like, what the heck? And this is all fine. Establish a time frame and a plan for each 3-month period. Now, successful and wealthy people, they plan in 3 months. They do not plan for 12 months ahead, because they know if I give myself 3 months to achieve something, it will probably take me 3 months. If I give myself 12 months, it will probably take me 12 months. And if I don't achieve it in 3 months, but I planned for 3 months, I'm further ahead than if I would have planned for 12 months. What successful people do is they actually set the tone for quarter goals. And that's what I want you to do. Set a time frame. You can break them down. If they're too big for 3 months, break them down. But get a quarterly goal. Then identify and overcome obstacles that might be holding you back. Also a very good one, because if you're not aware of what could come your way and stand in between the success, it will come anyways. If you're aware of it, you can now work on how to handle them. If you're not aware of them, they're gonna hit you and you'll be like, I didn't see that coming. Now I don't know what to do. But if you're aware of what can come, you can already make a plan for what if that shows up? I know what to do. And this gives you, again, it's not about having different goals. I think sometimes we forget about plan A and plan B. Because it's not bad to have plan A and plan B, because it's just a plan. It's not the goal you change. So by just having plan A, but plan B is also there, because if that shows up, you know how to handle it. Plan C is if that shows up, you know how to handle it. But the goal remains the same. Identify and overcome your obstacles. Such a good one. Because if you don't know what could come your way, anything can come your way. Again, it's the same thing as not knowing where you want to go, is not knowing what could come across, because you do know yourself. It's not about you don't know what could go wrong. For example, it can be lack of discipline with the posting, for example, or with the finances, or it can be fear. So knowing your obstacles very well is going to help you, because what you can do already is having a plan B for what if that obstacle shows up, because you already know it might happen, because you know yourself. And if you do not know yourself, then looking back will help you. Look back of what you wanted to achieve. What have you achieved? What have you not achieved? And why? What has gone wrong? As there's never something wrong, but it's just what has gone not as planned. And then figure out why. And here's very important. The obstacles are not external. The obstacles are always internal. I want you to look into yourself and figure out what could you not do? What could be your issue? It's not about the other person not delivering. It's not about the other person not loving you back. It's not about that. It's things that could come your way you are in charge of. 5, determine who you can work with. Perhaps seek guidance from a mentor. A mentor can be a friend, can also be someone you barely know, can be someone you looking up to, whatever it is. And for some of the goals, you might want to have a mentor on the side, because you might don't know the how. And that's fine. You don't need to know the how. You need to know what you want and then get someone who's there or who's an expert in this field and ask them, look, I want this. How can we reach it? And that also takes a lot of stress out of your brain if you are just not feeling weak about asking for help. And it's a big one for me, and that's why I'm telling you, go and ask for help. It's 10 times easier doing it with someone, being guided from someone, than doing it by yourself. It's about you can, but you choose to do it with someone because you understand it's gonna be easier and you want to make life easy for you because you are your best friend, and your best friend would never tell you go the hard way always because you need to be strong, you need to prove it to everybody else. Your best friend is going to tell you if there's an easy route, go the easy route. If there's a simple route, go the simple route because you're loved and you're strong. You don't need to prove that. So seek guidance if you need so. Seek help. If there's something on your list mentally you want to work on, physically you want to work on, you don't know how to solve it because it may be too big to do it by yourself, then get help. And trust me, it is actually very strong to seek help, and it's never, ever weak. Number 6, create a step-by-step action plan. Now, this is what I mean is when you know where you're heading to, now you can define an action plan. And if you don't know what can take you there, that's when you seek guidance. That's when you reach out to someone. Number 7, create or consider the rewards you'll receive when you achieve the goal, such as using bingo cards or a spreadsheet. We're going to talk about that. Because I believe if you reward yourself, it's 10 times more fun. And are we not in it to enjoy life and have fun in life? Is it really always about that we need to improve and it's very strict and we're not allowed to have fun in the process? Man, life is this gift given. You have, and there's a reason why you're here. And if you don't know your reason, you have life. You dance life. But it could also end in 45 years. We are here. We want to achieve we want to achieve results. We want to create relationships. We want to feel loved. Yes. But please enjoy every single day as if this is your last. Enjoy the process, and it's a constant reminder of I am enjoying process. The process of becoming wealthier, physically healthier, mentally healthier, professionally, and all of that is a constant challenge because when we want to grow and get better, we get challenged. And when we get challenged, it can sometimes be very hard. And if you're in a place or in a position where maybe some of these areas feel very, remind yourself that you're already a winner because you won the first race of choosing life. And now you're here and you're about to enjoy. Don't take it too serious, this life. Laugh about it. Laugh with yourself that you got to breathe in. The gift that you get to wake up another time. Someone else might have loved to wake up another day, but you got this gift. So why don't we just enjoy life a little bit more? Just be a little bit more compassionate with yourself. Just give yourself claps of, you got this, you're wonderful, you're an amazing human being, and you're doing all that you can in this moment, and this is enough. So let us enjoy the process of reaching goals. It's not about fighting for everything and then if it doesn't work out, what if, and da 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 da. It's about, that's where I'm heading to. That's who I need to go there, or that's who I want. And this is the actions I can take. And now every single day, I am enjoying. And if you want to know about myself and my business, there are so many things that don't go as they are planned. I have a whole list of it. And I started to write them down because I feel like at a certain point, if I look back and see all of the things I struggled with, it's not about bragging of where I'm now and where I started. Just seeing and just being thankful for that. And then the first videos in this podcast, they were not going well. Sometimes the camera wasn't working. Sometimes the voice wasn't correct. A lot of things didn't work in the beginning. But I always told myself, you are going to enjoy this process, even though it's not perfect. And you are going to enjoy this process. It's fine if things don't go as planned. You just keep on doing it, and I know you'll get better. And that's what I am wishing for you, to be able to enjoy the process, even if it's tough, if it's hard, even if you're sad, but because you are working. Now, let's dive into. I always talk about the why, and the why could also be your purpose. Now, number one is discovering the purpose behind your significant goals. So whatever you wrote down, that's why I said write down the why, the purpose behind. Because if you don't know, then if something comes across one of the obstacles you listed, maybe you're stopped doing it. I don't really know. This is too hard. I can't do this. Why did I write this down? This is too big. All of these thoughts. So write down and discover your. Number two is identify a compelling emotional motivation and create a visual representation to keep it constantly in your thoughts. Very cool one. I can give you an example. This is an example I use especially in business, but you can reproduce it for any of these. Compelling and emotional motivation is going deep down into your emotions and figuring out what moves you. And have you ever heard stories from someone about what they changed and it just touched you, like from the bottom of your heart? You wanted to cry because that story was just so. Yes, that's what we're aiming for. You don't need to cry, all fine, but it must move something within you. Otherwise, it's just with no reason and very hard. And I'll give you an example for business. For example, one of my team members, she wants to retire because they worked very hard. They're not living in the country they would love to live. So she wants to retire. Just make sure they can live the rest of their lives as she does. The action she takes is very clear. But it's even clearer because anything could come up. She has it written like a chat, like a WhatsApp chat, where she's like, hey, mom. Mom says, hey, or whatever. And then she says, I have a gift for you. My mom asks, what do you have? And you can send in your resignation letter. You don't need to work from tomorrow. And this conversation is, and whenever something comes her, it's getting tough, she looks at that and she's like, I know why I'm something now. This is something motivational, emotionally. She does it for someone else, but you can also find reasons for yourself. But sometimes it's easier when we have a third party that we want to gift, just because, like kids, parents, we're very emotional with these creatures. And sometimes we're not with ourselves. But find out the emotional motivation behind your goals. You're not going to find an emotional connection to probably all of your goals, but for the biggest, you should. Number 3 is cultivate a laser focus. Laser focus means head down, choose the goal, and then work towards it, no matter what. No distractions, because you know what distractions could come up and you know how to prevent them. That's laser focus. If you don't know the distractions will come up and you'll get distracted and pulled away from what you actually. Engage in daily affirmations, verbally express them, and consider writing them down for reinforcement. Now, affirmation is something you can look up, you can Google. It's a lot about that positive thinking and like setting a tone in your mindset of where you're. Very good exercise if you keep on doing that. It's not, again, here, that's the Delulu thing. If I would say, just write them down every single day, twice, morning and evening, and you're going to achieve it. I must say you don't, because actions must align with where you want it to go. But yes, it can help you. It can help you for your laser focus, and it can help you for the energy you put out in this world. Begin each day with gratitude. Oh, that's such a big one. And I want you for this one to just take a deep breath and just be grateful for what you have in this moment. If you are walking outside, listening to my voice, be grateful for the peace that you have, to be able to listen to nature, to walk, be able to feel, see, be grateful for whatever you have. And even if you're at home listening to this, look around. You have a roof over your head, you have a family, whatever it is, and go even. It's good if you start with I have a roof over my head, but maybe I have parents. Just go a little deeper and start being grateful every single day in the morning. And I do this when I lay in bed, not like 100% in every single day, but most of the times, or even in the evening, I lay down, just look at the ceiling or close my eyes, and I just think of the beautiful things I have and how grateful I am. Reflect on your current self. You already did that a little bit with the other one, so acknowledge the threats you already. Also know what you can improve, as if in distractions. Envision the characteristics of a successful person. Compile and detail the attributes you admire and actions they take. Very cool exercise. I love it to do it before I set the tone for my goals, because I look forward to who I want to become. And for example, if I want to become like physically healthier, fitter, I want to work out more, maybe there's someone I look up to. This person maybe works out a lot, has a body I admire and I'd love to have as well. So what I can do is think of this person. Again here, what does this person every single day? How does this person act, speak? Just all of the things that you see. Because once you see what this person does, it's not about copy them, but it's about, if you want to become a person like mastering a certain thing, a person that we look up to, an expert in a field, you have to act like the expert in this field. Maybe you don't know how an expert in this field acts, so you go and look for the people and then study them. Study the people, understand how they act and speak and move, what they do. And you get a very clear picture on how you can get these characteristics or attributes into your own life. incorporate Napoleon Hill's self-confidence formula from Think and Grow Rich into your daily routine. It's a very cool one, and I'm going to read it to you. Just so it gives you a feeling, because most of us believe we are very self-confident, but then maybe we realize, actually not, no. So let us quickly go through the self-confidence formula. But before that, I'm going to do this in the end. But before that, I want to go back quickly to the bingo cards, or I could say the rewards. Because if it's bingo or not, bingo is just for the ones who like to play a little bit more. The other one is more ticking off. But nothing wrong, nothing right. You choose whatever fits your life, your style, whatever you want to. It's either that you keep the habit tracker, which is like you write down, you go on one date this month. And then you tick off every single time you do it. You post content every other day. When you do it, you tick it off. Make an extra 150 per day. Tick it off. Drink 2 liters of water daily. Tick it off. Work out 5 days a week. Tick it off. And once you did it for a certain amount, there's going to be the reward. That's going to end up probably when you choose how many times you need to do something until you get the reward. And the reward could be that you buy yourself flowers, or you book a vacation, or it could be that you buy something you wanted for a long time, or that you invite someone to go somewhere. It's just something like that. And you can use bingo cards, or you can do a more strategic one, as if with the spreadsheet of ticking off and then rewarding yourself. But anyways, I would suggest to get some rewards ready, because it's always more fun when you know what's awaiting in front of you when you did it well. With that said, let's go to the goal setting and the action plan, because what we now want to do is we do it quarterly. Now, when you plan your goals, as I said, we don't plan in 12 months ahead, but we plan in quarters. So that's quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. And for each of the areas, you put one goal, not 10, 1. So that means you have for each category 4 goals you got to achieve in this year or in the next 12 months. It doesn't really need to be January until December. You can start today. You can start any time of the month, of the year. It also doesn't need to start first of a certain month, okay? Because, come on, you choose your own tone. If you wait for a date because that fits a schedule, then you are probably just waiting, and that means procrastinating, because you don't want to start right now. But choose to start right now. Choose to put that down and work on it. And work on reaching these goals. And for the bingo cards, it could be like turn around and then see the rewards once you did it, or you can tick it off, get yourself a reward. But plan quarterly. And you find these examples all in our documents down below. You can download them. Please do so. Go ahead. Make sure that you have your next 90 days planned out and about to reach your goals. And that wraps up another empowering episode of Inspire Greatness. I hope you found inspiration, insights, and a renewed sense of purpose during our time together. Remember, growth is a journey and not a destination. If you enjoyed today's conversation or have thoughts to share, connect with us on social media or within the community area. Your feedback means the world to us, and I love hearing from each and every one of you. We have a lineup of exciting topics and incredible guests coming your way, and I can't wait to share these transformative moments with you. Before I log out, always remember, you are capable of incredible things, and your journey is uniquely yours. Cherish the moment of growth, and embrace the beautiful unfolding of your own story. Until next time, this is Demi signing off from Inspired Brightness. Take care and stay inspired and keep on growing. I'll catch you in the next episode.